countries that do not exist, but many believe they do. Have you ever heard someone mention a country that, upon closer inspection, doesn't actually exist? It may sound surprising, but there are numerous examples of fictional countries that people believe are real. Let's explore a few of the most commonly mistaken ones. First, consider Elbonia. This so-called nation is often believed to be located somewhere in Eastern Europe. In reality, Elbonia is a fictional country from the comic strip Dilbert, where it is depicted as muddy and underdeveloped. Despite this, internet users have searched for visas and travel information, fully convinced of its existence. Next is Wakanda. Many people recognize Wakanda as the technologically advanced African kingdom featured in Marvel's Black Panther. Although the film presents Wakanda with incredible detail and realism, it is purely fictional. Interestingly, after the film's release, a real town in the United States named Wakanda received visitors who mistakenly believed it had some connection to the movie. Another example is Zembla, a supposed Northern European kingdom mentioned in the novel Pale Fire by Vladimir Nabokov. In the story, a character invents the country as part of a fictional narrative. Despite this, debates continue online about Zembla's true location, a testament to how convincing fiction can be when presented with confidence and detail. So why do these non-existent nations capture public belief? Modern storytelling, through literature, cinema, and online media, can blur the lines between reality and imagination. Detailed maps, realistic flags, and believable backstories all contribute to the illusion. Have you ever believed in a fictional country? Perhaps Narnia or Genovia from The Princess Diaries? Share your thoughts in the comments, and tag someone who might still think Wakanda is real. Let's follow the next topic, where we will examine real-life borders between countries that are so complicated they defy logic. Real borders that defy common sense. When we think of international borders, we often imagine straight lines that clearly separate one country from another. However, in some parts of the world, borders are far more complex, and sometimes completely baffling. Let us begin with a town called Baal, which is divided between Belgium and the Netherlands. What makes this town extraordinary is that its borders are not simple or clean. They are a tangled mix of enclaves and counter-enclaves. Some houses in Baarle have their front doors in Belgium and their kitchens in the Netherlands. There is even a cafe where a white line on the floor indicates the international border. Sit on one side and you're in Belgium. Shift your chair slightly and you're in the Netherlands. Next, let's look at the former situation along the India-Bangladesh border, specifically the Cooch Behar enclaves. Before 2015, there were areas of India located inside Bangladesh, which themselves contained smaller Bangladeshi enclaves, and so on. This multi-layered geography created confusion about law enforcement, public services, and even citizenship. Fortunately, a treaty between the two countries resolved the issue in 2015, simplifying one of the most complicated borders in the world. Now, consider the Diomede Islands, located between Alaska, United States, and Russia. Although the two islands are only a few kilometers apart, one belongs to the United States, Little Diomede, and the other to Russia, Big Diomede. What's fascinating is that Big Diomede is 21 hours ahead of Little Diomede due to the international dateline. In other words, when you look across the frozen sea from one island to the other, you are literally looking into the future. These unusual borders are not merely lines on a map. They reflect centuries of political decisions, wars, and cultural divisions. They can affect everything from taxation to school systems to internet access. Which of these borders surprised you the most? Was it the split town of Baal, the puzzle-like enclaves between India and Bangladesh, or the time-traveling view between the Diomede Islands? Let us know in the comments, and follow for the next discussion, where we will explore places on Earth that are completely forbidden to the public. No tourists, no cameras, sometimes not even government officials.